At that big stadium, she was sitting with her family watching her cousin playing very good, making all the crowd watching him by shock. "My grandson is so talented," she smiled, listening to her grandmother, nodded to her, trying to hit her feelings and how much she likes him. Hannah keep watching him and get up of her place as he's speaking finally finished the match. And look at her walking to her before everyone. "Thank you for coming to watch, babe," he said to her, pulling her toward him. She blushed before his touch. She always feels embarrassed before people looking at them. He was always around her, making all the people in the stadium look at them, and she knew that, because she already saw the camera focusing on them together. "It was great. You make all people here shocked by you playing," she said to avoid people around them seeing her face blushing while his hand still holding her wrist. He chuckled while rubbing his hair as he was still sweating from the game. "I know, I just hoped you liked my game," he said to her, making her blush more. "People can't stop staring at us, you know." He leaned toward her and whispered to her, "And I see your face blushing," as he smirked. She bit her lip, feeling his breath near her. She didn't say anything. "Why are you biting your lip, huh?" He teased her as his hand moved to her chin, making her look up to him. "I am not." Her eyes widened as he held her chin up. He smirked more, getting her more flustered. "Is my cute girlfriend shy?" She hit his arm lightly and looked around her, seeing many looks on them. "They are staring," she whined softly. "So what they are staring, all they know is that you are mine and I am yours," he said as he leaned his head toward her neck, still holding her chin. She let out small whine. She was feeling his hot breath on her skin, making her body shiver. "Hey, you are so sweaty, don't get close." The moment his hand holds her hand, she felt his fingers intertwined with hers. They walked away from the crowded area, and now their family was far away. She felt his grip tightened, pulling her close to him, making her walk next to him as he was slightly taller than her. Her body was now pressed against his, and he still didn't let go of her hand. She was so close to his body she can smell the smell of his sweat. He pulled her more toward him. As they walked, he leaned into her face. "So you find me being sweaty is disgusting," he teased her while smirked. They all were so impressed by the way he was playing. All of them were focusing, watching the match. She sat next to her grandma, who noticed her there. "My darling, you came," her grandma said to her. She didn't answer her, just watching the match with them. The whole stadium was clapping and cheering him from the game. He was making the goal over and over again, and each time he did, he looked toward her, which made her flustered. "He's doing it to annoy you," her grandma teased her, seeing her blushed. Her eyes widened and she held her breath. She was shocked from seeing him fall it that way, the way he slammed his body to the ground. She didn't see the match anymore. She was just looking at him from the screen, trying to move, but he stayed lying still on the ground. She saw the coach running toward him and some of his team members. She could feel her heartbeats getting faster. Her breath became unsteady. "Get up," she mumbled quietly, watching him being still on the ground. She was starting to get more worried. She was biting her lip without noticing what's happening around her. "He is not moving," her cousin, who was watching the game, said to his mother, who was sitting next to him. She felt her chest getting tighter. All the family were so worried. They were looking toward her, seeing her worried face. She kept staring at the screen. Her grandma reached her hand to hold hers, trying to calm her down. Her eyes didn't leave the screen, and her heart felt heavier. It became hard to breathe. She noticed him trying to get up, but the coach was telling him to stay down. "He is okay, don't worry," her grandma said to her, tightening her hold on her hand. She was trying hard to not cry as she was watching him finally getting out of the field. He didn't look like he was okay. He was holding his left shoulder, and the coach was helping to get out with his other team members. Her grandma was about to say to her calming things, but her father spoke first. "Let's go to the hospital." They entered the hospital, and her family was following her, looking worried. She was still holding her grandma's hand tight. She didn't let go of her the whole time. Her mother was walking next to her, also worried about her. They entered the room and saw him sitting at the bed while doctor checking his shoulder. "You are such a reckless player," the doctor was saying to him while checking his shoulder. He rolled his eyes at him and looked toward her, seeing her standing at the door looking so worried. All of her family was watching, but he didn't care about them. He was more focused on her. Her grandma nudged her softly, trying to make her go closer to him. "Go see him," her mother told her softly to encourage her. She let go of her grandma's hand and walked toward the bed, hesitating to go next to him. "I'm okay, babe," he said to her softly, and held her wrist, pulling her closer to him without her noticing, and he made her sit down next to him. "See, I told you I'm okay," he said again softly, and his arm now wrapped around her waist and he pulled her closer to him. She couldn't say anything. She was feeling weak, still worried to him, and she felt his body really close to her again. His eyes now staring at her, noticing her biting her lip. "Babe, you're biting your lip," he teased her as his hand went to touch her chin, lifting her face toward him. "I'm more worried that you are sad," he replied to her with a small smirk on his lips. She was still biting her lip, still feeling weak because of him pulling her so close to him, his hand still on her chin and his arm holding tightly around her waist, not letting go of her. "Stop biting your lip," he said to her in small whisper while moving his thumb rubbing her soft lip. She tried hard to not let out a soft moan, but his touch making it hard for her, and she could feel her body getting hotter. She forgot about everyone behind her looking at them. His hand still on her chin and her lip, while the other hand now pulling her more toward him, closing any gap between them. It made her body lean on his as they were so close, and he knew it as he was watching her face becoming flustered. "I'm more than okay," he replied and smirked, looking at her. He knew how she's feeling right now. Her body leaned against him. He loved to feel her like this, so close to him. He could hear her heartbeat speeding up and feeling her body getting hotter. He let his hand. He was about to protest to her because he wanted her to stay on his lap, but he didn't say anything. Instead of that, he was only silently watching her as she went to get his medicine. He got a better view of her body, and his eyes roaming on it shamelessly. The way her clothes hugging her body so well, he kept staring at her every move. He could notice her short skirt she was wearing, knowing she wore it for him to tease him, as he loved seeing her in those outfits. His eyes didn't leave her body as she was now coming back toward him, holding medicine cup. He was still staring at her body, and he tried move to pull her to sit back on his lap, but he felt pain in his shoulder and groaned at that. His mother was watching him and shook her head by his actions. "You need to heal first before jumping on her," she teased him, making him roll his eyes and pouted. "At least she sat on my lap. I made her do that," he said proudly, smirking. Her mother just shook her head at him. He looked back to the door, wanting her to come back to him. He was getting impatient. A few minutes passed, and he was still waiting for her. "Why is she taking so long?" he said impatiently. He wanted badly to get her back to his lap. "Stop being impatient, you idiot," his father said to him. He was ready to reply and argue with him, but his attention now shifted to the door that opened and her silhouette walking toward the room. She was walking toward him, and he couldn't help but smirk at the sight of her approaching him with a cup of medicine. He looked at her body, noticing how short her skirt was. He was about to comment at it, but he stopped himself when he noticed her grandma walking next to her. She handed him the cup of medicine, and he downed it at one gulp. He was still looking at her body, and his eyes was focused on her slender legs. He was craving to touch her, to pull her closer, but he held himself as her family, and his was in the room. He was trying hard to make his urge go away, but it was hard, because the idea of her body on his lap was on his mind, and he could feel his body getting hotter. He groaned and shifted on the bed. Her grandma was watching his reaction, noticing that he was trying hard not to do something. His eyes now went back at her face. He was watching her with soft gaze, his eyes looking at her sweet face. He wanted so badly to touch her face, to run his fingers over her soft skin, but he was holding himself, because he knew he can't do anything in front of their family. Her face was red, and he noticed her biting her lip again. He saw his father and mother looking at them. His mother was trying to hold back her smirk. "Stop biting your lip," he said to her. His voice was low, but she heard him, and immediately stopped. She knew he hated it when she does it, because it was